Y'all really got me messed up with some of these videos you've been posting on social media. So let's talk about some of the bullshit I've seen recently. Starting off strong, we've got point of view. Your glutes grew 10 times faster once you started doing these stretches. I would like you to explain to me the mechanism with which glutes grew from a stretch. Now, stretching exercise, like an exercise that trains the glutes in the lengthened position, sure, for sure. A pigeon pose? Yeah, that's not how hypertrophy works, baby. I don't know, it's like at this point, are we just saying like drink water and your glutes are gonna grow? Like, nobody's saying that stretching isn't great. Nobody's saying that drinking water isn't great. But they're not the same, like they don't affect one another. Okay, moving on. All right, we got a gym tip I wish someone told me sooner. Less weight and more reps equals muscle definition, and more weight plus less reps equals muscle mass. I want to know, what do people think muscle definition is? Like, define it for me. Because to me, muscle definition is muscle that is revealed, you know, in a situation where like you have a lot of muscle mass and you're not visually able to see it, it's because you have a high body fat percentage. Changing your rep schematic is in no way going to affect the type of muscle that you build. It's building that, like you could make an argument for like fast twitch versus slow twitch muscle fibers, but that's not gonna change the way it looks. All it's gonna do is contribute to how those muscles perform given the fiber type that they have. Trying to say that you are building people like to say you're gonna look leaner. No, muscle is muscle. If you build it and you have a low enough body fat percentage, it's going to show. And whether or not that looks defined is just going to come down to how much you have, how much muscle you have, and how much body fat you have. It doesn't matter whether or not you use low or high reps, or low weight or high weight. If the performance is the same, if you're performing to the same level of proximity to failure, the end appearance is the same. And yes, there are more hypertrophic rep ranges than others. Like there are certain rep ranges that are probably going to be better for facilitating muscle growth, like somewhere between 6 to 12 reps, but there's a lot of wiggle room there. You could go down to 4 reps, you could go up to 15, 20 reps and still see muscle growth. But like if we're talking from like an ideal perspective, it's probably going to be somewhere between like 6 and 12. But you have to be in that rep range regardless. If you're trying to build muscle, like going up to 20 is not going to change the appearance. If anything, it's actually going to make muscle building a little bit more challenging when you get to a certain number of reps. If you're doing 30 reps, you're not going to be able to, your endurance is going to be your limiting factor, and you're not going to be able to perform to the proximity of failure with the high enough intensity to be able to ideally build muscle. You'll still build muscle. It's just whether or not you're like building the most muscle possible. And at the end of the day, it's build muscle or don't build muscle. There's no like type of muscle. There's no appearance of muscle. Oh, the Stairmaster videos always kill me. Okay, reminder that 9 speed on the Stairmaster burns fat faster than running does. Hands off the railing for a core workout. The modality of cardio that you do, really, when you get into the nitty-gritty, doesn't make a difference. Are there different fat burning zones? Yes, but that does not, as much as it might sound like you're more likely to burn body fat in a certain zone, that's not how it works. Comparing a Stairmaster at level 9 to jogging, those are generally speaking probably going to keep your heart rate in about the same zone. So that, I don't even think those two things are like really that different. There's trade-offs of both. I'm not trying to say one is superior to the other. I don't think jogging is superior to the Stairmaster or vice versa. But one is not in any way better for fat burning purposes. The kind, like with my clients, the kind of cardio I'm going to assign you is going to be dependent on the purposes and your goals. If you are trying to run in a marathon, I'm going to have you running. I'm not going to have you doing Stairmaster. Maybe we'll do it supplementally, but like there's no purpose behind not having you run. Training specificity is how we accomplish goals related to the specific training goal. If you just hate running, you just hate jogging, okay, you like the Stairmaster, do the Stairmaster. Like, though, that's how I make decisions regarding what kind of cardio we do. It really comes down to, does it serve your goal? And what do you enjoy? And what are you actually going to stick with? Now, I do think for health reasons, it is a good approach to train in a variety of heart rate zones. But again, Stairmaster at level 9 and a jog are going to be fairly similar depending on the person. So trying to argue that one is somehow more efficient or more effective than the other, especially for fat burning purposes, you really shouldn't be relying too heavily on cardio for fat burning as it is. Can it help you get your caloric expenditure up and help you create, necessitate less of a deficit in your diet? Yes, but at the end of the day, nutrition and overall daily activity are going to be the two primary driving factors behind any kind of fat loss. Okay, the best glute workout. In the caption, she says, glutes are hip stabilizers, so unilateral movements are key to develop this muscle. Here's one of my faves. Step-ups elicit the highest gluteus, I'm assuming she means maximus activation, and they're a must if you want to grow your glutes. Okay. I love step-ups. Don't get me wrong. I also love doing step-ups on a machine the way that she's doing them. However, if your goal is to target the stabilizing function of the glutes, you might not want to be doing them on a machine that stabilizes the movement for you, because that's what the Smith machine is going to reduce the amount that the glutes are required to stabilize you. I don't want to be too harsh, because I think generally the information is good. Maybe she just means to use step-ups in general, and she just happened to use a video of her doing it on the Smith machine. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. But the other thing that I find a little problematic with this post is that people rely really, really heavily on EMG data. I know the study that she's citing. The problem is that just because we see a higher level of activity through EMG doesn't necessarily mean it directly correlates with hypertrophy. Unless we're also simultaneously doing some kind of cross-sectional measure. Theoretically, EMG is correlated with hypertrophy, but we don't actually have a whole lot of concrete evidence to say that's the case. And again, I love step-ups. I think they're a fantastic exercise for the glutes. I also think that they are a fantastic exercise for actually the glute medius specifically, because the glute medius is going to be highly, highly involved in that stabilizing portion of the movement. But if you're doing it on a Smith machine, you're going to be reducing that. We also do still get a whole lot of hip flexion in there. So that's not to say it's not a great glute exercise, but if you're specifically trying to train that stabilizing function of the glutes, in particular the glute medius actually, you probably want to do it with dumbbells, maybe with a short barbell, but a free weight variation, again, if the goal is to target the glutes as they function to stabilize you.
Pause, 1 to 2 seconds, slowly go back down, explode back up, pause, slowly go back down. I would squeeze and hold at the top, and when you come down, you're not stopping and squeezing here, because think about it, there's not much to squeeze at the bottom.
This is a terrible video. No, I'm totally kidding. I actually love this creator. We're mutuals on TikTok. Please go follow her. She makes great content. I wanted to throw in a video with some good information in there as well, so it doesn't just feel like I'm just harping on other creators all the time, or that I'm only critiquing. I think this is a great video. I think she really points out something that a lot of people struggle with in a variety of movements, which is understanding where the exercise is going to be the most beneficial for you. So with a leg extension in particular, the most effective portion of the movement, the moment where the most tension is occurring, is when the legs are extended out in front of you. Not a whole lot is happening when the knees are in flexion and the legs are down. So really, and a lot of people tend to short circuit that movement and tend to cut it short when it comes to that full extension. So adding that pause in there can really make sure you're fully extending and really making the most of that movement through that shortened position. So adding that pause in can be really great. But yeah, Just wanted to throw in something with some really good information as well. Okay, I apologize if that video was a little ranty and a little rambling. Oh, this stuff really gets me sometimes. Like, it just, we really just be out here making stuff up. We really just be out here inventing entire principles, entire concepts in our heads, don't we? So I hope you enjoy. If you have videos that you'd like me to check out, feel free to tag me on social media platforms. And if you like this, let me know, and please leave a comment, like, and subscribe.